I'm the AI avatar of Joshua Bingham with JSB Tech LLC, breaking down the AI news that matters for your business. This week in AI, a Chinese lab just shipped a model that costs cents per million tokens, and yet ties the most expensive American reasoning model on a hard benchmark. On Friday, July 31st, DeepSeek released DeepSeek V4-0731, an updated open weights reasoning model that lands with a 1 million token context window, an MIT license, and a price floor of 14 cents per million input tokens and 28 cents per million output tokens. To put that in perspective, the median comparable proprietary model today charges about 25 cents for input and 88 cents for output, roughly 2 to 3 times DeepSeek's number. Here's what the headline numbers actually say. DeepSeek's model card, published today on Hugging Face, says V4 Flash 0731, quote, outperforms DeepSeek V4 Pro Preview on every benchmark listed below. Despite its far smaller activated parameter count, the deltas are wide. On Terminal Bench 2.1, Flash 0731 scores 82.7 against Pro's 72.1. On CyberGym, 76.7 versus 52.7. On Deep SWE, 54.4 versus 12.8, more than 4 times the score. On the Agentic benchmark, Toolathlon verified 70.3 versus 55.9. And on one benchmark, Agent's Last Exam, Flash 0731 scores 25.2 against Anthropic's Opus 4.8 at 25.7. In other words, a model that costs cents per million tokens is functionally tied with the best American reasoning model on a hard reasoning evaluation. The independent model evaluator Artificial Analysis ran the model the same day. Their page, which went live within hours of DeepSeek's release, confirms an intelligence index score of 50, places the model second among 162 comparable models on the intelligence axis, and rates it first on price. The total bill to run Artificial Analysis's full 9 evaluation suite was $72.02. For comparison, the median comparable proprietary model costs 25 cents per million input tokens and 88 cents per million output tokens. Flash 0731 sits at roughly half the input price and a third of the output price of that median. Under the hood, the model ships with a speculative decoding module called DSpark attached, the same module that powered the earlier DSpark preview release. According to the model card, speculative decoding is enabled with a single flag in VLLM, and VLLM's recipe site lists a working single node 4 times GB300 serve setup. The Flash variant retains the same 1 million token context window and adds 3 reasoning effort levels named low, high, and max. The accompanying technical report, posted to ARXIV as 2606.19348 and titled DeepSeek V4 Towards Highly Efficient Million Token Context Intelligence, frames the work as a study in making million token context inference cheap enough to run at production scale. The release hit Hacker News the same morning and climbed to 291 points within hours, with commenters noting that Flash 0731 already beats DeepSeek's own V4 Pro on price per task by roughly 2 times, according to a top comment linking to the Artificial Analysis model page. There are 2 caveats worth flagging. First, despite the MIT license on the weights, the model is not yet on most third-party aggregators. Developers who want to use it today go through DeepSeek's first-party API or self-host via VLLM. The cost advantage is real, but it is gated behind either DeepSeek's own API or an MLOps team that can run a 4 by GB 300 node. Second, the cost per task number is a weighted average across task types per the Artificial Analysis methodology footnote, while the index scoring uses a uniform evaluation harness, so the cost number is robust at the category level but not identical for any specific agent workload. So why does this matter beyond the price tag? Two reasons. First, the gap between DeepSeek's headline price and what a comparable API call costs in the United States just widened again. For developers shipping high-volume coding agents, token cost is the single largest line item, and 14 cents versus $2 or $3 is the difference between a unit economic story that works and one that does not. Second, the V4 Flash family ships a speculative decoding approach that, if it generalizes, makes million token context inference cheaper on commodity hardware than any of the larger frontier models. The MIT license plus the VLLM recipe plus the working hardware profile means a serious open weights operator can stand this up tonight. That is the wrap. Sources in the description. I'm Joshua. Catch you next week.